Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
The stepmother, accused of holding her stepson captive inside their home for more than 2 decades, is out of jail tonight. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Court officials in Waterbury confirmed that 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan posted her $300,000 bail that happened just a few hours ago. And earlier today, city leaders gave new information on this disturbing case. Fox 61's Kayla Cade reports.
The Waterbury mayor and the chief of police both spoke at today's press conference, and they can both agree that this is a horrifying situation. And this man now has mental and health issues he has to heal from.
Man's unimaginable suffering over the course of 2 decades is just a reminder of the darkness that does exist in our world. Our hearts and our prayers go out to him.
A show of support from Mayor Paul Penarewski Jr. as he talked about the case of a 32-year-old man held in captivity. That man told police he was trapped in a house on Blake Street where his stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, kept him locked up in a room. Police found out about this when firefighters responded to a fire at their house on February 17th. They said the stepson told firefighters he set the fire on purpose so he can gain freedom. Police noticed the state of the man's body: rotten teeth, dirty, and extremely emaciated.
Here's an adult that was 5'9" and 68 pounds. There's some apparent orthopedic issues. The room was very small.
He was taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo said officers launched an investigation and they arrested Sullivan on Wednesday. In the arrest warrant, the man told police there was a lock on the outside of his bedroom door.
That room did have exterior locks on it and a number of different styles of exterior locks. As was explained during an interview with the victim throughout the years, it appeared that the locks increased in security levels as time progressed.
Spagnolo said this was a very controlling situation.
Information was very guarded on what was released and when he was able to see other members of the family and other members of the community.
The man said he couldn't find other ways to get help, such as by getting someone's attention through the window.
He was fearful that if he broke that storm window or tried to open it up, that there would be some retaliation.
The police report shows how he would drink from the toilet to stay hydrated, and it says he was starved and was forced to find food elsewhere, like school. Because of this, the Department of Children and Families were called to the home twice. The man told police he was forced to lie about his true living conditions. Police said DCF called them to do welfare checks in the past. Spagnolo recalled one from 2005.
Officers went to the house. The house was clean. It was lived in. They spoke to the victim at that point in time, and there were no cause for any alarm or any conditions that existed that would have led officers to believe anything other than a normal childhood and a normal family existence was occurring.
Police were called back in April, this time by the family who wanted to file a harassment complaint against the members of the school district.
Saying that they were continuously reporting them to DCF and felt that they were trying to get the family in trouble and have the family investigated. We have no further information about where that went other than there was no proof provided by the family that there was any type of harassment that was occurring.
The man told investigators he was pulled from school in the 4th grade because of DCF. Mayor Penarewski said city leaders will make sure the systems are working in the future.
Do the checks, we can make sure that teachers, and administrators are looking out for children, notice some of the telltale signs.
Sullivan will face a judge on March 26. In Waterbury, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
And as this investigation continues, state officials are now demanding answers.
Fox 61's Jamel Johnson spoke with a lawmaker who offered insight into where things may have gone wrong.
This Waterbury home behind me was set on fire in February, but it wouldn't be until later when reports surfaced about a man being locked up inside the house for over 2 decades. The alleged abuse from his stepmother started much earlier than that, and that's why officials like Senator Jason Perillo are asking the question, how does this go on for so long?
How horrible it is, and how did it happen? But then what are we doing to learn from that?
That's how Senator Perillo initially reacted when he heard the news. The accused kidnapper in question is 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan, the stepmom of the man who escaped. Reports detail that since a child, the man was held captive, starved, and was subject to other forms of abuse. As a child, it said that he would go through trash to find food and also beg and steal foods and drinks at school. His behavior prompted the school to notify DCF.
The school administrators and the teachers did their job, right? They identified that there was a problem here, and they suspected it was at home. Then the ball's in DCF's court to do their due diligence and make sure that the kid is safe. And that obviously didn't happen here.
DCF visited the house after being notified, but the man said Sullivan forced him to say everything was fine.
The big question is, what is DCF doing to make sure that they don't walk up to a house, feel that things are going okay, when in reality they're not?
We reached out to DCF for comment. They sent us back a statement saying, quote, "The Department of Children and Families has looked extensively at our current and historical databases and to date have been unable to locate any records pertaining to this family nor any records connected to the names of others who have indicated they made reports to our department. In accordance with state regulation, it should also be noted that reports of neglect and abuse that have been investigated and not sustained are expunged 5 years after completion of the investigation." Senator Perillo is part of the Committee on Children, which oversees DCF. He says investigations need to start at the source.
Leadership changes as governors change, but a lot of the frontline staff would still be there. And, you start with them and figure out what they know. Policies may have been different, and we need to understand what went wrong.
Perillo says a proper investigation needs to be done so this doesn't happen again.
Governor Lamont really has to step in here, and he hasn't yet. But he's going to have to step in here and make sure that DCF does its job, because at the end of the day, this is about protecting kids going forward.
Sullivan and her attorney continue to maintain her innocence and fully expect the case to go to trial. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
And as we learn more about this case, we will keep you updated. Just scan the QR code that you see on your screen and download the Fox 61 News app. Let's turn to the weather now. The sun was playing a little game of hide and seek today, but starting tomorrow, we'll be out to play.
Sounds good. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. So, Rach, how much warmer do we expect it to get with the sun out? And what about the all-important weekend?
It's actually looking warmer Friday right into this weekend with highs that'll be in the 50s to even near 60 degrees. And Sunday, think warmer than that. 53 right now in Hartford, 44 for the New Haven area. So it is cooler at the shoreline than it is for inland areas. We do see more clouds over the weekend than we will tomorrow. So enjoy that sunshine though. Overnight lows will be right around 30 degrees inland and mid 30s for the Connecticut shoreline. Otherwise, heading through the day tomorrow, we'll start the day off with a lot of clouds. But as we head through the afternoon, we see the sun come back out again and temperatures will rise into the mid and even upper 50s as we head through the afternoon, although I think at the shoreline staying in the lower 50s. Here's a look at the 3-day forecast. For your Saturday, I think we wake up, it's really cloudy to begin the day. There could be areas of fog or mist towards the shoreline in southeastern Connecticut. But I think for the Hartford area, we should be good to go for the Hartford St. Patrick's Day Parade. And we might even brighten things up a little bit for some areas inland as we head through the afternoon on Saturday. Sunday's mostly dry too. It will become increasingly windy and warm, highs in the 60s, and the heaviest rain holds off until Sunday night. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast and tonight's lunar eclipse coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A pet dog and cat are dead, and another cat is missing after the home they were in caught fire in Suffield. Crews were called to the home on Thompsonville Road just after 9 last night. Firefighters tell us 2 people were inside the home but managed to get out safely, and they're okay. It took firefighters about a half an hour to contain that blaze.
Farmington police arrested a distracted driver last week who they say killed a motorcyclist last August. 18-year-old Angelina Morton was driving on Waterville Road when police say she hit 2 motorcyclists. The arrest warrant says she drove into the northbound lane driving south. Motorcyclist Justin Giddings of Meriden was airlifted to the hospital in critical condition. He died a month later. Morton faces second-degree manslaughter charges and reckless driving charges.
Police have identified the man killed in a crash in Bristol yesterday morning. Officials say 22-year-old Logan Panett was driving near Witches Rock and Cove Roads just before 1 a.m. when he crashed and was thrown from the car. Police say medics tried to save Panett's life, but he died at the hospital. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led up to the crash. If you have any information or surveillance video, please call Bristol Police. A West Hartford woman accused of misusing organization funds faces theft charges tonight. We're told Jennifer McAdam was a volunteer for the Wolcott Parent-Teacher Organization. PTO members found irregular spending last November. They called police to look into it. Investigators say McAdam is responsible. She posted her $25,000 bond and she's due back in court next week.
Governor Ned Lamont and Attorney General William Tong made a push to expand cell phone bans in schools statewide. They joined a panel of educators, local leaders, and students in Wethersfield High School today to discuss the impacts of distractions in the classroom. And turns out many students agree that cell phones in class make it harder for them to concentrate. It comes as the state of Connecticut is in the process of suing social media giant Meta for fueling an addiction and mental health crisis among teens. It's why many districts across the state have taken steps to restrict cell phone use in class. Here's why these students feel it's a good thing and why they want even more to be done about it.
I would love to go to a nice college, and in order to do that, I need to focus on what I'm learning at firsthand. And the phone prevents that from happening. And I can't focus because whenever I'm doing homework or anything like that, I'm going to be honest, I do check my phone frequently. Social media apps like TikTok, Snapchat, anything, it distracts me from my homework and I end up procrastinating on it overall.
New Haven, New Britain, Manchester, Torrington, and Lisbon school districts have already banned cell phones in middle schools, with some high schools also following suit.
Well, Connecticut and 19 other states are suing the Trump administration over major cuts to the Department of Education. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong made the announcement today. The suit alleges the administration is gutting the agency as a way to implement an unlawful plan to dismantle the department. Earlier this week, the Trump administration said it's cutting nearly half the staff. Tong argues that violates the law.
How is eliminating half of the staff not dismantling the Department of Education? We can't trust a word that they say. I've had to go into court twice to move to enforce court orders. So don't tell me the money's going to be there.
Congress would need to sign off on any plans to completely dismantle the agency. The Coalition of Attorneys General say these cuts are detrimental to quality education and critical resources for millions of American students.